Okay, good morning, Year 9 remote learners. I hope you're keeping okay. I hope your families are all safe and well. My name is Mr. Rawa, and I'll be setting your Year 9 computing lesson for this week. So before we get started, I just wanted to talk through a couple of logistics. This should be familiar for most of you, but just in case we've got some new students, I just wanted to make sure you're okay logging into Office 365, accessing your email, and then just taking a quick look around OneDrive. So first of all, if I wanted to log into Office 365, I can just type in office.com. It will take me to the sign in page. I just click sign in, and then I enter my full email address. So for yourselves, it starts off with a number. It's already stored my email address there. I would type in my password, and it takes me to the Office 365 login page. If it asks you, it won't ask you to do this. It asks me to do this because I'm a teacher, and it just makes sure that I am who I say I am. And there it should take me inside. Now, once I'm into Office 365, I've got a bunch of icons on the left-hand side. The ones I just wanted to briefly highlight to you is the ones that allows you to access your email, which is Outlook. So I'm just going to click on that, and that takes you to your school email. And obviously this is something that you can use to communicate with your teachers. The second one I just wanted to talk you through is OneDrive, and this is a place, it's an online cloud storage area where you can save all of your work. So once my OneDrive opens up, you can see I've got a bunch of folders, computing, I've got some documents, some pictures, some stuff for teaching, things I'm making for remote learners, and things that I've shared with other people. You can create as many folders as you want. So, I mean, if I was a student, I might make one for English, I might make one for maths and science and history and geography, and then within English, I can drag and drop any files here that I want to save. To do that, I'm just going to make my window a bit smaller. If I wanted to save, for example, printing into my English folder, it's just a simple drag, and I drop it over here, and then it uploads. And as long as I have an internet connection, I can access this area from anywhere at all. So it's a nice place for you to keep your documents. Okay, so back to the lesson. In this lesson, we're going to be looking at 3D design. It's your introduction lesson into 3D design. So the first thing I want you to do is just watch this video. If when you download this PowerPoint, you get a message at the top asking you to enable editing, or it asks you to enable content, just make sure you click enable. Many of the videos are embedded into the PowerPoint, and for it to play, it just needs your permission. So just make sure you play that. You can play in this mode over here, or you can go full screen, and then you can click on play. It might take a second to load because it pulls in the information from YouTube, as you can see, but then the video will get started. Once you finish watching the video, you're going to register on to some 3D design creation software. So this is the website. So I'm just going to go into Google. I can type in Tinkercad. Okay, it's the first one that appears. So I click on that link, and you will not have registered before. So you're going to click on join now. You're going to create your own personal account, sign in with your school email, and then you just follow through. Put your country in United Arab Emirates, put your date of birth in, and then it'll ask you for your username, which will be your email address, and then you can make a password. Keep it the same as your school password, so you don't forget. All the information is on this slide for you, so you can follow through that. So today's lesson, we're going to be looking at a bit of theory, so you understand the difference between some of the keywords related to 3D design software. You're going to be looking at where 3D design is used for the benefit of society, and also where it can be detrimental to society. Then you're going to do some practical activities and do some tutorials to show that you can create some simple 3D designs. And then you're going to finish off and you're going to evidence these, and you'll have the opportunity to make your own design at the end as well. So I guess the first thing is 3D design. What is it all about? Well, there are two main technologies. The first one is computer-aided design, also known as CAD. So Tinkercad, which is the software you're going to use to design 3D objects, is part of the CAD element. So it's where you design things. And you can see, for example, on this screen over here, someone has designed an aeroplane on the screen, and then eventually it'll be printed out. The printing section is called Computer Aided Manufacture, or CAM. And you can see a couple of examples over here at the bottom where you've got a robotic arm, or you've got a 3D printer. We've got one in school, the MakerBot, which allows you to actually manufacture the image. So computer aided design is the creation of the thing that you want to make on a computer. You're designing it, and there's lots of different types of software that you can use for this. And then computer aided manufacturer is taking that design and then creating it into something physical that we can see. Okay, so based on my explanation so far and the video that you watched, are you able to answer these questions? So just type your answers in a different color under here. I'm going into as much detail as you can. If you're not sure about any of these, maybe you could go back and have a look at the original video in the starter, or you can go back and listen to my explanation again. Once you've done that, we're going to watch the second video, and this is about 3D printed guns. So this is something that maybe is a bit controversial in terms of the purpose of 3D design and why it was invented in the first place. The first video showed you lots of examples of where 3D design was used for good, and this is an example of where it can be used for something that's maybe not as beneficial for mankind. So now that you've watched both videos, I'm interested to know what your opinion is and what your thoughts are. So why do you think 3D printed is good? And where do you think 3D printing is bad, and what are some of the consequences about that? So put your thoughts, finish these sentences off for me, and you can add all of your thoughts onto this area over here. Okay, that's the theory element of the lesson finished. So we're going to look at now doing some actual 3D design. So the software that we use is called Tinkercad. It's very, very popular, very easy to use, and hopefully you've already registered by now. So you've already sort of seen some of the elements of Tinkercad. So I've come back to the page where you registered. I'm going to click sign in because I already have a username and password, and you will already have got to the page that you open up on. So I've added my username and password. If at any time it signs you out automatically, you can just go back in and sign in again, and you come to this section over here. This is the interface. So I guess the first thing that we're going to do is just make sure that we're comfortable with the interface. So what we're going to do, if you can have a read through that, you're going to go to create a new design. So I'm going to create a new design, which is over here, and I just want to get comfortable with the interface, okay, the different elements. What can I do? What can I click on? What do all these different things mean? The first time you do see a piece of software, it can be quite intimidating. I know when I use software for the first time, I see all these buttons and I think, oh, what's going on over here? What am I supposed to do? It's a little bit confusing. Don't worry about that. The more you use the software, the more comfortable you will get with different elements of the screen. So what I want you to do for the next activity is all of these elements of the interface that I've pointed out. I want you to try and find out what they do, and then make a note of it in this box over here. So let's give you a demonstration. Let's say, for example, this one over here. If I hover over it, it gives me a hint. It tells me it's a zoom in. I'm just going to test it out. I'm just going to click on it, and yep, it zooms in. I guess the other one here below it is zoom out, and that works. It gives me a hint also. You can see on green on the right hand side, I can use the keyboard shortcut of plus, that will zoom in, and a keyboard shortcut of minus to zoom out as well. So there's a nice little hint for you. So in this box over here, that's the plus one. I would edit some text, and I would say this is the zoom in button, and then I will hopefully within the next 5 or 10 minutes I would figure out what all of these different elements do, and I'd make a note of it in the yellow boxes. Once you finish with that, we're going to go back to the home page. So I'm going to go back onto the Tinkercad icon. I'm back onto the home page in just a second. And what I want to now do is start working my way through some tutorials. So I want Tinkercad to sort of teach me the different things that I can do. So you're going to work your way through the tutorials. To get to the tutorials, we're just going to click Learn over here on the top right hand side. And don't worry if I'm moving quite quickly on this. Everything that I go through is noted on the slide. So you can pause the video and you can go and look at the slide, or you can go back and watch the video again. So I've clicked on Learn. I'm going to see all the starters. So then I can see all the tutorials that are available. And then I'm going to work my way through these tutorials over here. So you can see the order I've asked you to do them in. Place it first, then view it, move it, rotate it, and so on and so forth. So let's do one together. The first one is place it. So I'm going to click on place it, and then it brings me the interface of Tinkercad. It loads up the software, and on the left hand side over here it gives me the instructions. This is the easiest lesson that we can do. I'm going to reset because I did do this in the past, so let me try and get right back to the first screen. So what I want to do is I want to read carefully the instructions on the left hand side, and then I want to see. This is a very easy one. It's only 2 things I have to do. So it says welcome to Tinkercad, and then it gives a bit of explanation. It shows you you're trying to move the red box over here, gives you a bit more instructions if you need. So this is relatively straightforward. I'm taking the red box, I'm dragging it, and I'm dropping it over here. I'm trying to get it right in the box, and if I do that correctly, I've added it there. I'll click next, and it gives me a hooray, well done, you've finished the task. Very, very simple. This is just to get you understanding about placing shapes. So you'd click on done, and your lesson's been completed. Now, I need you to evidence that you've done that lesson. So on this next slide, you're going to take a screenshot, and you're going to place it here so I can see that it's done. You're going to do that for all the lessons. So you're going to do view it, take a screenshot, put it there, move it, and so on and so forth, all the way until you get to align it. And once you got to align it, you've done all of the basic lessons that I need you to do for today's lesson. If you want to experiment more, there's lots of different tools on the right hand side over here, and you can click on making a new home, and you can see different objects will appear. You can click on text and numbers, and again, you get lots and lots of different shapes. Opportunity over here to be very creative with this and create something really, really interesting. So feel free to experiment and play with the software. Don't worry, you can't really get anything wrong. If anything goes wrong, you can just close the browser, reopen it again, and go back to Tinkercad, log in, and start again. Once you've done all the tutorials, you're going to have a go at trying to make your own little 3D design. So you can make anything you want. You can make a house, you can make a little car, you can make a poster, you can put your name, anything that you think would be quite nice, and then you can drop it and put a screenshot of it over here, and that'll give me an idea on how comfortable you feel with the Tinkercad software. Just to finish off, once you've done that, just a couple of questions to make sure that you are paying attention, so you can add the answers to your questions underneath each of these 5 questions over here, and then that's the end of the lesson. So once you've done, make sure you save your work. You've uploaded it back to Teams so I can have a look at it. And then you can sign out your computer, and you can just sanitize your work area again, just in case if someone else uses it, then you've got that nice and clean for the next person. Yeah. So I hope you enjoy that lesson. If you have any questions or any queries about the lesson, then feel free to speak to your tutor or to send any queries in through Teams. And I will try and help and support as much as I can. Yeah. Okay. I hope everything else is going well in terms of your learning, and I look forward to getting these PowerPoints back in. You take care, and goodbye.